On the night of June 11, 1962, 3 men vanished from Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary, the most secure prison in America, surrounded by the freezing, treacherous waters of San Francisco Bay. It was a fortress from which no one had ever successfully escaped in 29 years. But that night, Frank Morris and the brothers, John and Clarence Anglin, disappeared. Their bodies were never found. The question that has haunted investigators for decades is simple: did they survive? Alcatraz, known as the Rock, sits just a mile and a half from shore. It opened in 1934 to house America's most dangerous criminals, including Al Capone and Machine Gun Kelly. The prison was considered escape-proof. The cold water, strong currents, and armed guards made any attempt seem suicidal. Over the years, 36 inmates tried to escape. All were caught, killed, or presumed drowned. Then came Frank Morris. He arrived in 1960, a highly intelligent bank robber with an IQ of 133 and a history of escaping other prisons. The Anglin brothers, John and Clarence, also bank robbers, arrived shortly after. The 3 men met and began to plan. Their goal: escape Alcatraz and disappear forever. They studied the prison's layout, the guard schedules, and the bay's tidal patterns. They noticed that the concrete around the ventilation grates in their cells was crumbling from the salt air. This was their way out. Using improvised tools like sharpened spoons and a drill made from a vacuum cleaner motor, they began to dig. Their plan was ingenious and took months to execute. To hide their digging, they crafted fake ventilation grates from painted cardboard. At night, they'd remove the real grates, chip away at the weak concrete, and then replace them with the fakes before the morning guard count. To fool the guards during the escape itself, they created incredibly realistic dummy heads from soap, plaster, and toilet paper, using real hair from the barbershop floor. Placed in their beds under blankets, these dummies would buy them precious hours. The biggest challenge was getting off the island. Swimming was impossible, so they decided to build a raft. They managed to steal over 50 raincoats from other inmates, gluing them together with cement from the workshop to create an inflatable raft and life vests. For nearly 6 months, they worked in secret. They timed guard patrols, memorized their routes, and tested their handmade equipment. This wasn't a desperate dash for freedom. It was a masterpiece of engineering and patience. Behind their cells was a narrow, 3-foot-wide utility corridor. Once they squeezed through the holes they dug, they planned to climb up to the roof through a ventilation shaft to make their way down the side of the building, inflate their raft at the water's edge, and paddle into the night. On June 11, 1962, after the 10 o'clock lights out, they put their plan into action. They placed the dummy heads in their beds, slipped through the holes into the utility corridor, and began their climb. A 4th conspirator, Alan West, was left behind when he couldn't get his grate loose in time. Maurice and the Anglins made it to the roof, descended to the shore, inflated their raft using a modified concertina, and around midnight, they pushed off into the dark, cold waters of the San Francisco Bay. They were never seen again. The next morning, the guards discovered the dummies, and a massive manhunt began. The FBI and Coast Guard searched for days. They found pieces of the raft and paddle on nearby Angel Island, but that's all. After a 17-year investigation, the FBI officially closed the case in 1979, concluding the men had drowned. The bay's frigid 50-degree water would have caused hypothermia in minutes, and the treacherous currents would have pulled them out to sea. Survival seemed impossible, but no bodies were ever recovered. For years, the Anglin family reportedly received unsigned Christmas cards in handwriting that matched the brothers. Then, in 2013, a letter allegedly from John Anglin surfaced, claiming they had all survived. He offered to turn himself in for medical treatment in exchange for a short sentence. The FBI's analysis of the letter was inconclusive. A 2015 study, however, suggested that if the inmates left between 11 p.m. and midnight and paddled north, the currents might have actually helped them reach land. That same year, the Anglin family shared photos from the 1970s, allegedly showing the brothers alive in Brazil. So, did Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers achieve the impossible? Did they perish in the icy waters of the bay? Or did they make it to shore and vanish into new lives? The mystery remains unsolved. What do you think happened? Tell me your theory in the comments below. If you found this escape fascinating, leave a like and subscribe to MyC Mysteries for more unsolved cases. Don't forget to turn on notifications and share this video with a friend. MyC Mysteries, where curiosity meets the unknown. We'll see you in the next mystery.